Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Tuesday, the 5th of September. Good to have you aboard, part of the Believe Podcast Network, and presented as always by Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys. 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. If you're involved in any kind of an accident, I send you to Anidjar and Levine, where they're going to get you the money that you deserve while you're taking care of the injury, you're healing up, and you're going to be treated like family the same way I was when we started ZASLOW Show 2.0. Title sponsor of everything ZASLOW Show 2.0, Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. I hope everybody had a nice Memorial Day, a nice Labor Day. Memorial Day's in May. I hope everybody had a nice Labor Day weekend. You did some fun stuff maybe yesterday, some swimming, maybe some barbecue. We did some swimming in the ZASLOW Mansion yesterday. The ZASLOW boys, we did some swimming. I went to Top Golf. I'm the fucking pits when it comes to golf. I've never actually played real golf before, but my older son, he's interested. We've been going to Top Golf often enough, and people tell me all the time, ZASLOW, you should play golf. You should play golf. It's so good. No, I will never play golf. I wanted to crack those clubs over my knee yesterday. I am so awful. I'm sure my swing looks horrible. I'll slice it. I'll hook it. Oh, my God. It feels really good when you get some good wood on it, you know? I got that driver in my hand. I'll crush the ball every now and then. But otherwise, I am so angry. I want to throw the club across the grass. And we're not even talking about real golf. This is stupid Top Golf. I'm the worst. I will never play real golf. It's a waste of my time. I'm so freaking bad. Anyway, that's what we did yesterday. So I hope you guys had a nice little Labor Day. Also yesterday, if you tuned in last night on ESPN Radio, I filled in kind of a last-minute deal. I filled in yesterday. We did late nights. I did 10 p.m. to midnight last night on ESPN Radio, hosted with Mike Wells. So I had a great time. Appreciate everybody who hung out with us there yesterday. And now I should mention, ESPN Radio starts their new lineup today, their new fall lineup. And I tuned in this morning. You guys know my pal is Evan Cohen. Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, new morning show on ESPN Radio. It's also on television. Is it ESPNU, or I think it's ESPNU. And I tuned in this morning, listened for about 2 hours. And I got to tell you, obviously I'm biased because Evan is a good friend of mine. But that's a good show. The very first show, and I'd never really heard Canty before. I'd never heard Michelle Smallman. Evan's my guy. And obviously, look, I'm sure they've been doing demo shows together, what have you. That's a good show. And it's not this cookie cutter, serious sports show. It's not throwing together a bunch of personalities, you know, like Jay Williams and Keyshawn. No, these are real radio people doing what sounds like a real radio show. And obviously, a ton of credit to my guy, Evan Cohen there. He is a radio guy. He's obviously driving that show. I recommend it. That is a good show. So I'm adding now every morning, 6 to 10 a.m. That's on my radar now. Every single morning, ESPN Radio. And that has never been the case before. Maybe you're saying, oh, ZASLOW, you're biased now because you're doing some stuff for ESPN Radio. Maybe that's true, but I'm not listening to ESPN Radio all day long. I listen to Amber in the evenings, of course, and her new show, by the way, starts tonight, 7 to 10 p.m. They tack on an extra hour. You get an extra hour of Amber Wilson tonight, along with her new host, Ian Fitzsimmons. So Amber and Ian debuts tonight, 7 to 10 p.m. Her name is first. How about that for the very first time? Her name is first billing. Amber and Ian tonight, 7 to 10 p.m. So I listen to Amber almost every night, and I'm going to be listening to what is called Unsportsmanlike every morning on ESPN Radio, 6 to 10 a.m. I really, really enjoyed it this morning. What up? We got college football to get to. We are 2 sleeps away from the NFL getting going. Chiefs Lions on Thursday. We got the Dolphins on Sunday. Tua versus Herbert. We know that's a blood feud. It feels like they play every single year, by the way. I think it's the third time in 4 years because they played in Tua's rookie season. You'll remember that was Tua's first start, and the Dolphins kicked their ass. And then last year, excuse me, they played up in LA. It was the game after, I believe, the Dolphins had their win streak snapped and they lost at the 49ers. And then they lost a tough game at the Chargers. And so now they're playing again this year. So I think it's 3 out of 4 years that the Dolphins and Chargers are playing. Second year in a row that the game is in Los Angeles. I'm expecting a heavy contingent of Dolphin fans there this weekend. The Chargers have no fans. Nobody cares about the Chargers. They definitely don't care about the Chargers in Los Angeles. You're going to get a heavy contingent of Dolphin fans there on Sunday. Tua, Herbert, blood feud. You know what I'm talking about. I can't wait. We're so close. We're so close to all of it getting going. So we have a lot happening on the show today. Also, NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. Remember I had Billy Corgan on the show a couple of weeks ago? Yes, Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins. He is the owner and the head of the NWA. The NWA World Champion is EC3, Ethan Carter III. You may have seen him NXT. He was in WWE for a little bit. I'm a fan. The World Champion of the NWA, EC3, is going to be on ZASLOW Show 2.0 today. I am really looking forward to talking to him. We'll talk about winning, obviously, the most storied world title in professional wrestling, and that is the NWA World Championship. I want to ask him about Bray Wyatt passing away last week. We'll see if there's a dream match out there that he would love to have. So I'm looking forward to talking to EC3. He's a great personality. We've never talked to him before. Today's Tuesday. We got Twitter Jam. All right. So anyway, let's get things going here. Now, let's do some college football. Actually, what I first want to hit on here, this morning, the United States FIBA World Cup, U.S. kicked the shit out of Italy. So a few days ago, U.S. lost to Lithuania, and that was group play. They still qualify for the quarterfinals, which was today, which was this morning against Italy. I watched most of the game. They won by like 40. They kicked the shit out of them. And so now they're in the semifinal. Okay, great. I got to tell you, though, I can't even fake enthusiasm for it. Like, I put it on, and I watched the second half of the game against Lithuania, so I saw them lose that game, and then I made sure to watch here because now they're in the knockout round. So I want to keep up to speed with it, and I can't even fake the enthusiasm. We're so weird in this country when it comes to stuff like this. Do I want the USA men's basketball team to win? Yes, of course. Although it feels like that Noah Lyles, the U.S. track and field star, the Olympian, it feels like he wants the U.S. to lose so he could try and prove a point about the NBA not being world champions, which is such bullshit. He is out to lunch, that guy. Anyway, and I know after they lost to Lithuania, he put out a tweet and, of course, deleted it because if that makes it go away, like taking a victory lap as if he wants the USA to lose. Now, I don't want the USA to lose, but here's the thing. I'm so unaffected by it. We're weird in this country, man, where I'm watching the game earlier today, USA and Italy, and Italian basketball fans, they're probably super into it. Although USA was up by double figures really from the end of the first quarter on the rest of the way. But like Lithuania, for instance, the other day, Lithuanian fans definitely so into them beating the United States. And I didn't lose any sleep over USA losing to Lithuania. And I can't even fake enthusiasm watching the game earlier today against Italy. In this country, and it goes this way with, the Olympics is what I should say. World Cup soccer, I'm very, very into. But the Olympics, let's say, with the U.S. men's basketball team. All right, it's cool if you win the gold. Just like here with the FIBA World Cup, it's cool if you win it. But, man, I care so much more about my club team, that being the Miami Heat, when in other countries, like when Messi, let's use Messi as an example. When Messi and Argentina won the World Cup, was it last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was, last year, Argentinians care so much more about winning that World Cup than they do their favorite club team. Here, like FIBA World Cup, I don't care at all about the U.S. winning the World Cup compared to how I care about the Miami Heat. Like all those people at the World Cup in Argentina, they care 1,000 times more about their country winning the World Cup than they do their club team. For me, the U.S. and the FIBA World Cup, it's not even on my radar compared to how much more I care about the Miami Heat. We're weird like that in this country. Like I don't know. We don't have that same patriotism that these other countries have. And I don't really have an answer for why. By the way, you can always hit me up at ZASLOW Show on Twitter. I'm not calling it X. You could always hit me up on Instagram as well, where everybody knows I'm an influencer, at ZASLOWJ. So, I watched it earlier this morning. I can't even pretend to get excited about, I'm watching Mikal Bridges out there, and Jalen Brunson, and Brandon Ingram, and Austin Reeves, and it's like, all right, I know it's about the front of the jersey as opposed to the back of the jersey, but I don't care about these guys. And I know it's my country. I care about my country, but I don't care about these guys. So I can't even pretend that I care. I can't even fake the patriotism when it comes to the U.S. national team participating in this FIBA World Cup. Anyway, it is what it is. Guys, before we continue on here, and college football was crazy this weekend. Just week number 1. I got to tell you guys, I'm exhausted from all the games that I watched this weekend, but also part of why I slept so well, I'm sleeping on sheets and giggles. You guys know this. Sheets and giggles, we're talking naturally softer, cooler, more breathable sheets. The best sleep you've ever had. I sleep on a eucalyptus pillow. Have you ever slept on a eucalyptus mattress? Let me tell you something. If a koala sleeps 18 hours on a eucalyptus tree, how great do you think you're going to sleep on a eucalyptus pillow like I do? That's right. Go to sheetsgiggles.com. A wide selection of all kinds of bedding. You're never going to shop anywhere else for your bed sheets. And my man Colin, he's the founder and CEO of Sheets and Giggles. He also cares about the environment. So all of that is being taken care of, while at the same time, you guys have become one of over 100,000 Americans who are sleeping on Sheets and Giggles. And just like the ZASLOW family, you're never turning back. Sheets and Giggles, one of our great sponsors here on ZASLOW Show 2.0. Use my code ZASLOW upon checkout. You'll get 20% off your first order at Sheets and Giggles. The best sleep of your life is waiting for you. SheetsGiggles.com. So, let's start with the biggest story in sports from over the weekend. Not the biggest story from college football, not the biggest story from football. The biggest story from sports over the weekend, Deion Sanders and Colorado football. I mean, where do you even begin with what a stunner this was? I turned on the game, so on the big TV, I forget what I had on the big TV in the ZASLOW Mansion family room, but for the first half of the game, I had Colorado and TCU on the small TV in the ZASLOW Mansion family room. And I'll be honest with you, and part of the reason I had it on the small TV was because I tuned into it saying, all right, I'm at least going to keep an eye on Colorado getting an ass whooping by TCU. They were in the national title game last year. Colorado won one game last year. I think Deion is so overhyped. This is not Jackson State. This is a Power 5 conference now. Colorado is going to get their shit kicked in. And that's why I had it on the small TV in the ZASLOW Mansion family room. And by the time we get to halftime, I think it was a 3-point game at halftime, but if you were watching the game, and yes, it was back and forth, Colorado was never not in good shape. Like, you're watching, like, wow, they're totally going to be in this entire game. You saw that from the get-go. There are so many crazy things about that game. For me, one of the things I loved, you may have noticed, the players that they send out for the coin toss, the captains. No. Colorado doesn't have captains. They don't have C's on their jersey. A couple of them have L's, and a couple of them have D's. The kids with the L's on their jersey, they're the leaders. They don't have captains. They have leaders. And the guys who have D's on their jersey, they're not captains. They're dogs. They have a D on their jersey because they're dogs. Maybe my favorite thing from the weekend. But then you got this Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball. Ridiculous. You never see that anymore. And it wasn't like, all right, he's a cornerback and he's going to play a little bit of wide receiver. He was playing both sides of the ball. And then you got Deion Sanders slinging it for 510 yards. And Deion after the game going back and forth with the reporter. Do you believe now? Do you believe now? Oh, you don't believe. All right, next question. It was as shocking. And again, TCU, great football program. Colorado, it was a tight game, obviously. Colorado to score in the middle of the fourth quarter and then come up with a stop with a minute left and they win the game. So, I mean, it was right there. But once the second half got going, you never thought they weren't going to win. I was stunned watching it. I tuned in to watch Deion. And look, I like Deion. Everybody likes Deion. What's not to like about Deion? But I tuned in because I thought I was going to watch Deion and Colorado get their shit kicked in. And now, every single week, just like that, after one game, two things. After one game, you can say, all right, Colorado's for real because that offense, no one is going to be able to stop. Is everyone going to give up 45 points like TCU? No, probably not. But no one is going to be able to stop that offense. So number one, they are for real. Yes, it's just one game. No, but sometimes you can watch one game and you're like, yeah, I know what I just watched. And that team is for real. And number two, they are must-see TV every single weekend. Like, has Colorado football mattered since the early 90s when they were competing for national championships? You remember, Miami Hurricanes, Colorado Buffaloes, that was a thing, all right? And now, after a one-win season and just one game, they are must-see TV every weekend. You're going to look, you're going to take out your TV guide, for those of you guys who still have the TV guide, and you're going to see what channel, what time is Colorado this weekend because they are must-see TV, and I have to watch them. Unbelievable. The Hurricanes kicked the shit out of Miami of Ohio. The Hurricanes, they're real Miami. Miami of Ohio, fake Miami. They now have to come up with a new name. Do we know yet what the new name of that city in Ohio is? You can't be called Miami anymore. Everybody knows this. When two Miamis play each other, that's a battle for Miami. And when you lose the battle for Miami, you're not Miami anymore. So I haven't gotten the memo yet. That city in Ohio, what's their new name? Because this right over here, this is real Miami over here. That's bullshit Miami. What's their new name? So I'm looking forward to hearing that. Now, the Hurricanes, later today, you're going to get the new rankings. I'm wondering if the Canes could be in the top 25. Now, they didn't get any others receiving votes in the AP poll. They did in the coaches poll, preseason poll. I'm not sure if they're going to be. Yes, it was Miami of Ohio. They're not ranked. Miami of Ohio is a legit program, and they kicked the shit out of them. Now, huge test, obviously, for Miami this weekend against Texas A&M. And right after Colorado and Deion Sanders, the biggest story of the college football weekend, we're talking Sunday night and Monday night. Sunday night, FSU's for real. They got great quarterback. They got great running back. FSU's for real. FSU and LSU, tight game the first half. You can't stand that Brian Kelly. I'm not telling you that I'm sitting here rooting for FSU, but I did want FSU to win because for two reasons. Number one, it's a lot more interesting here in Florida when FSU is good, when UF is good, and when the Canes are good. When they're all good, it's so much more interesting. It's a little bit like, I like it when the New York Knicks are good. I fucking hate them, but I like it when the Knicks are good because it's more interesting when the Knicks and Heat play. It's more interesting when the Knicks are involved. Same thing here with FSU. I'm not rooting for FSU, but I want FSU to be good because I want that game against the Canes later in the season to mean something. If the Canes beat out FSU, I want it to essentially ruin their season. So you want FSU to be good. You're not rooting for them, but you want FSU to be good. You understand what I'm saying? So FSU then in the second half, they kicked the shit out of LSU. What was it? It was 17-14, right? LSU was ahead 17-14. And then we're talking 28 straight points. It was 42-17 before the very end. 28 straight points from the Seminoles and just a beatdown. And then last night, Clemson and Duke. Look, Dabo Swinney could say it's the weirdest game he's ever seen. You were terrible. Clemson, I don't even know it's that they gave the game away. Every time I looked up, because I was on ESPN radio last night, so I couldn't pay too close attention. But every time I looked up, Clemson was down by 6 points and had goal to go, and they wouldn't score. Like, Clemson was terrible. And to be a top 10 team and lose your opener at an unranked team, let alone Duke. And I know Duke, it's not the same Duke as 20 years ago. Like, you're a decent football program now. I get it. But that was a disgrace from Clemson last night. And you know who's the most excited? Yes, the Duke fans obviously storming the field afterward. Crazy excited. You know who's the most excited? What fan base the most excited about that game last night? FSU fans. FSU fans. Because now, if you didn't know it was a conversation about FSU and Clemson, can FSU challenge for the ACC championship? Now you know that's a legit thing. The FSU fan must have been so excited with what they saw with Duke kicking the shit out of Clemson last night. So, great start to college football. A lot of meat on that bone. See, I told you. Now because, and you guys know, I don't fake being like this huge college football guy, but you guys can tell. Like, I know a little bit about a little bit now because I have to pay so much more attention because I'm doing stuff on ESPN radio. Now, I don't have anything scheduled coming up this weekend, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be on. I mean, shoot, yesterday, I wasn't supposed to be on last night. I got a call last minute. ZASLOW, yo, can you do a show tonight? I'm like, yes, of course I could do a show. I love it. So anyway, I don't have anything scheduled right now, but I'll let you all know. Couple days away from the NFL season getting going. Before we do that, though, hey, it's Tuesday. Let's get to Twitter Jam. So, today's edition of Twitter Jam, and first, I want to tell you guys, if you're thinking about getting a new car, all kinds of sizzling summer savings still going on at North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. North Fort Lauderdale Subaru, the only car dealership I personally endorse. Now, why is that? Well, because, look, if you're thinking about getting a new ride, I want the process to be painless for you. I want it to be exciting for you. And when you go to North Fort Lauderdale Subaru, you're going to be navigated by a member of their friendly sales team immediately. They're going to ask you, what are you looking for? Maybe you want an SUV for the family. Maybe you just want something simple, a sedan just for yourself. Well, North Fort Lauderdale Subaru carries the widest inventory of newest Subaru models on the market. That's the Outback, the Crosstrek, the Forester. Anything you're looking for, North Fort Lauderdale Subaru has. And it's so easy to get to. North Fort Lauderdale Subaru, located on North Andrews Avenue, just north of Cypress Creek Road. You always get more at North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. Guaranteed most money for your trade. Lifetime warranty included on all North Fort Lauderdale Subaru vehicles. You can shop right now from the comfort of your own home. NFLSubaru.com. Take it from me, the building you know and the place to go. North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. Today's Twitter Jam, yeah, it's on Deion Sanders and Colorado from over the weekend. It's what everyone is talking about. So Twitter Jam gets us started here. This tweet is from Barstool U. Barstool U, if you didn't know, it's Barstool Sports. They tweet about college football. And they tweet out Coach Prime's pregame speech before they played TCU. Here it was.
Usually God give me a word long before this, but he's been holding it. Because it's not about them. This is about us. This has nothing to do with the team that's opposing us. This is about us. This ain't got nothing to do with the naysayers, the unbelievers, the haters, the doubters. This is about us. When we started this journey, we told you it was going to be trying, it was going to be tough. But you endure it because it's about us. That man next to you is a miracle. That man next to you is a believer. That man next to you is a go-getter. That man next to you is a dog. That man next to you is somebody who wants this thing. That man next to you is somebody who believes. That man next to you is somebody that got to have it today. We ain't got tomorrow. We got now. We ain't got next. We got now. We ain't coming no more. If y'all know we here, give me my theme music. Okay.
Excellent theme song by Deion. Everybody knows that's Deion's theme song. And look, especially when you see the video, it's pretty damn cool. It really is. I mean, everybody knows Deion's the coolest, but you could see he cares. And here's the thing. He's bombastic. He's super arrogant, but clearly knows what he's doing. And it's pretty amazing. I'm all in. I'm all in on Deion now. I'm all in on Deion. All right, we continue on with Twitter Jam here. How about Ric Flair, Nature Boy? That's right, 16-time world champion, 2-time Hall of Famer. The Nature Boy Ric Flair tweets out 2 claps and a Ric Flair woo to Coach Prime at the University of Colorado and his son Shedeur Sanders. 510 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. Woo! That right there is from the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Big Ten football. They tweet out, this is a tweet from Nebraska head coach Matt Rule. Quote, he's the most serious person about football. His poster was on people's walls for a reason as a player. And that is, of course, Matt Rule on Facing Colorado in Week 2 when he was asked about Deion Sanders. How about Bomani Jones? Bomani Jones, everybody knows, formerly, I think, host on ESPN, HBO. He's got his podcast, The Right Time with Bomani Jones. All right, and Bomani tweets out, one thing I thought was clear, but I'll clarify. I've been very critical of Deion Sanders' words and actions, but I'm not sure what it would take for me to root against a black man in his position. For who? For what? All right, Bomani can be critical and root for him. This tweet here is from First Things First. That's a show on FS1 hosted by Nick Wright, who I think is excellent. Quote, Deion Sanders is writing a sports story that has never been written. Deion is making an argument for the greatest American sports story ever, and that is Nick Wright on Deion's NFL, MLB, and coaching careers. How about The Volume? They tweet out, now it's at The Volume Sports. That's Colin Cowherd's network of podcasts. And Colin, he says, Deion Sanders' son is a first-round NFL quarterback. That's Colin right after Shedeur Sanders' Colorado debut. What I'll say to that is, and he may be right, but what I'll say to that is, that right there is an example of why it's going to be so tough for Caleb Williams to repeat as Heisman. There has not been a repeat Heisman winner in like 50 years, and it's going to be so difficult for 2 reasons. Number one, voters clearly don't want to vote the same kid 2 years in a row to win the Heisman, and you're going to have kids kind of pop up out of nowhere, like Shedeur Sanders, who is going to be a major contender for Heisman. There you go. All right, this tweet is from Coach Prime. That's Deion Sanders, head coach of Colorado football. You can't possibly care about any and everything, and that's perfectly okay. What you care about, you must be truly passionate and committed to. Don't allow anybody to tell you any different. Find your main thing and keep it your main thing. That's Deion Sanders. All right. This tweet here is from, let's see. This tweet here is from, actually it's from the McAfee Show. All right. Pat McAfee Show. Quote, Shedeur has been changing plays at the line since he was 6 years old. He's rock steady, and he never gets flustered. That's actually a quote from Deion Sanders on the Pat McAfee Show. And finally, how about this? This tweet was sent out from JPA Football. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like it's an aggregate for football news. This is a clip of Deion Sanders on the Pat McAfee Show, and he tells a story. Here it is. Deion Sanders speaking about bringing Shedeur Sanders to a camp that TCU's offensive coordinator was at. Here's the tweet.
And you're going to love this. I don't think I've given anybody this yet. The reason he was so intense and just so relaxed and ready, not only did he study, but when we went to a camp of a certain school, and a certain coordinator we just played against, he's an offensive coordinator. He was at that school, and we went to this school of camp, and he didn't pay him no attention.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think he barely spoke to him. Oh. He just pushed him off to the side, and I went and told somebody, I say, man, that ain't the way to treat him now. That's not right. That's not right. And he remembered that. And he told me probably 20 minutes after the little situation happened, he said, Dad, we'll never come back here again.
Okay. All right. Good. And
we'll never come back here again.
And we remember this. Mm-hmm. And we go 5-10 or something.
Damn. Yeah, he said we will never come back here again.
And that right there is another edition of Twitter Jam. All right, every Tuesday we go over the tweets, what's the hottest topic, and like I said, Deion, Colorado, it's not just the hottest topic in college football, it's the hottest story in the world of sports right now. All right, you know what's hot? When you save money. Everybody loves saving money. Why wouldn't you? And you know what? You're going to save money when you go get your homeowner's insurance at Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. I've been getting my homeowner's insurance from Brunt Insurance for about 10 years now. Why do I do that? Well, I know that Greg Brunt and his team at Brunt Insurance, they have the expertise and the experience to make sure that I am covered, that there's not going to be any issue. If, God forbid, there's a disaster, I'm going to be taken care of, and I'm getting the coverage at the most affordable rate out there. And you know what? No matter where you're calling from in the state of Florida. Recently, Brunt Insurance was rated top 5 insurance agency in the country, #1 in the state of Florida. So wherever you're calling from, 954-589-2204. That's 954-589-2204. Wherever you're calling from Pensacola all the way down to the Keys and beyond, Brunt Insurance, they have comprehensive insurance coverage tailored exactly to your needs. They know the area you're calling from. They have offices located all throughout the state. And you know what? There's so many options out there when it comes to homeowners insurance. And not just home. What about renters insurance? Condo insurance. There's so many options out there. It could be dizzying. Don't worry. Brunt Insurance specializes in making the confusing crystal clear. Their fully licensed team is going to help you every step of the way at 954-589-2204. You're making the right call. And not just homeowners insurance. I get my homeowners insurance through them, but you can get automobile, motorcycle, boaters insurance. You're making the right call at 954-589-2204. The only insurance agency I personally endorse, Brunt Insurance. Go to bruntinsurance.com. So we're going to be joined by the NWA World Heavyweight Champion EC3 coming up in a few minutes here. This was a huge, a couple weekends ago, you had NWA 75 where he won the world title from Tyrus. And this past weekend, huge weekend in wrestling. Saturday night, you had WWE Payback. Sunday night, you had AEW All Out. CM Punk was fired. And yeah. Oh, what I wanted to say. Yesterday, all new bonus episode of It's Still Real to Me, where we reacted to WWE Payback and to CM Punk's firing. So actually, I think it came out Sunday night. So make sure you go check that out. Everywhere you get ZASLOW Show 2.0. I can't list all the podcasts, right? We're on the Believe Podcast Network, but everywhere you get your podcasts, that's where you'll also get It's Still Real to Me. It's under the ZASLOW Show 2.0 banner. So go check that out. It's not dated. You're going to get reaction to CM Punk's firing, and we recap WWE Payback, which is a lot of fun over the weekend. All right, real quick here. So we're a couple days away from the NFL opener, and we're going to be doing Dolphin stuff all throughout the week, of course. I'm pretty fucking pumped for the Dolphins this weekend. And yeah, you're getting, like, Dolphins-Chargers is kind of a thing because you got the whole Tua Herbert thing, number 5 overall pick, number 6 overall pick. And it's great because I've been able to talk a lot about it on national, on ESPN radio, because, yeah, that's a super high-profile game. I mean, shit, every time you put First Take on, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp now, apparently he's on every day now, they talk Dolphins. Dolphins are a high-profile national team now. So the timing is great for me doing shows on ESPN radio where I can keep it real. I let everybody know I'm a Dolphin fan. I'm not fucking around here. And Tua, the Dolphins, major story all throughout the season. They're a national story, so I love being able to do that and represent 305 here, going on ESPN radio and talking plenty about the Dolphins. So I'm really excited about the Dolphins this week because I'll be honest with you. Look, you guys know. Yes, I'm obviously a Dolphin fan, but for years, my Dolphin fandom, I don't know if it's waned, but I wouldn't get crazy during games. I wouldn't lose sleep when they lose. And yes, it obviously helps when the team's really good. You're able to jump back on and get emotional again. But I'm going to be honest with you. What's also really helped my Dolphin fandom get back on track? Tua. He's so easy to root for. And let everybody keep doubting him. And let everybody keep treating him the way that he does. But the character that he has shown so far, the toughness that he has shown so far, the improvement that he has shown so far, and just a genuinely seems like good dude. Tua, he's our guy. That's why, when he had all the Brady stuff from a few years ago, I'd rather win with our guy than win with Brady. Oh, ZASLOW, don't you want to win a Super Bowl? Yes, but I want to do it, and maybe I'm on an island on my own, but I want to do it what feels like the right way. And I want to win it with our guy. And Tua is our guy. So I'm always going to be a Dolphin fan. I never stopped being a Dolphin fan, but my emotion in the Dolphins waned a little bit. And Tua, over the last few years, has really helped get me back on track. I wonder if anyone else has had that experience. I just find Tua so easy to root for, and I love him going out there proving everybody wrong. Blood feud between Tua and Justin Herbert continues this weekend. We are 2 sleeps away from the NFL getting going. We are 5 sleeps away from Dolphins, Chargers, week 1 getting going. Beat down, coming the Chargers' way. You know what I'm talking about.